Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. I am short-term bearish, overall bullish on the market. I do believe that all of these dips are going to be dip buying opportunities. These are bear traps, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but in today's video, I'm going to give my analysis on why I think the market should end up getting a bit of a bounce. And I'm going to do my best to explain my thought process. It should be a quick video. We're going to take a look at the large tech stock, the SP500, the NASDAQ, and the bonds, honestly. But there's really, like, after a large move that we just saw in the market to the downside, I don't expect it to start showing any sort of, V-shaped recovery. We're going to end up bouncing, bouncing around at the lows, and then we might end up bouncing. So there's that. Honestly, you don't need to watch the rest of the video. That's what I think is going to end up happening. But now we're just going to take a look at a few specific instances. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Let's get started. So I'm not going to lie, guys. This is just very, very choppy. Let's just recap. I was bullish down here. We caught the dip. Great. I became bearish up here. We dropped. Cool. We went long again. We caught the dip. It bounced. Great. What's going on? We are back almost close to the levels of support that we initially went long on. What are we doing here? Like, what is the point of this price action? Now, number one, it is to really get retail sidelined. In my opinion, it's to get retail sidelined for a large move to either direction. Generally, when price action becomes like this on a daily time frame, on a large time frame, retail is too fatigued to trade this. They just rather sit out. That's essentially when we end up getting a really, really large move. We might end up getting a large move to the downside, right? By that time, when we get a large move to the downside, the move tends to already have occurred, right? So say, for example, we get a large move to the downside. Say, Friday, we trade choppy. Next week, Monday, Tuesday, massive, massive red candles. Uh-oh. Right? Many people go short. Then we get another move to the downside. Everyone that didn't go short here starts to pile in. All the people that were short up here end up taking profit, and we rip. Regardless of what may end up occurring in the next few days, in the next few weeks, just in general, it's very, very difficult for me to become overly bearish here, especially because just large tech stocks are trying to base themselves out. You never want to really bet against NVDA. You don't want to really bet against Tesla. You don't want to bet against Meta. These stocks are holding support. The NASDAQ is also trying to hold support. The Russell is holding support very, very well. And then we're just going to go down the list. Do I want to become very bearish on Apple here? Does it make sense to be a contrarian, to put on my top hat and be, I don't believe that the market should, the price to earnings level, it's been the highest it's ever been. We haven't. Do I want to start going short Apple? That's been ripping the faces of bears for the past few months? No. Meta, something setting up like this, very close, a rock's throw at the highs. Is Meta trading at the lows the way that the other stocks are? No. Meta is up here. The fact that Meta is trading pretty strongly is indicative of the current strength in the overall market. Okay. Now, we don't necessarily know, just the fact that Meta is doing well like this. Side note, it may actually be beneficial to look at long positions on Snap, because with TikTok being banned, I'm surprised that, Snap and these other, I'm surprised that Snap hasn't really, really just skyrocketed. So I think we might have to take some longs on Snap, purely based off the TikTok play being banned. Regardless, let's go back to the rest of the tech stocks. Google, what does Google look like? Is Google, did the Willow technology on Google just vanish? Is Google, are we just going to forget that Google gapped up from all the way up here to where we are now and it's still holding the highs? No, we're not going to forget that. Like, is Microsoft not trying to bottom out? Microsoft and Tesla are both really trying to bottom themselves out. And when something like this occurs, right? Yes, we can definitely vomit lower. But currently, right? The current setup, and it's across the board, all right? This is pretty much just wraps up this video. Currently, when something is trying to show some sort of bullish setup, there's multiple different things that you can do as a trader. There's 3 different things. Number 1, you can wait. You could either wait to go short at a level of resistance, or you can wait to go long at a deeper level of support. Great. Number 2, you can go long at this level of support. Number 3, you can go short. And then number 4, you can just wait. And you could just choose not to do anything. And the most enticing thing to me, given how bullish the market in general has been, as much as I really, really want to chase this move to the downside, which I do think we do have more room to the downside, to be short down here is very, very aggressive. Now, yes, we're holding on to runners on puts, but this is we also went short on the SPY. My point is that, okay, look, all right, so say for example those trades happened already. Those trades finished. The issue now is that Tesla, Microsoft, Google, you could take a look at Amazon, all of these stocks are trying to base themselves. They're trying to create bull flags. They're trying to show some strength. As much as I want to go short, trust me, like this clearly looks very, very bearish. This is a bearish setup. Break down lower. Let's see all of this. Let's just... But my point is that, okay, like as we get down here, is it time to go short into a level of support as we get to these major daily levels of support here? Is this now the time to go short? Like as we touch this? Is this now the time to go short? Absolutely not. Do I want to go short here? Yeah, but it's just not as easy, right? We ended up going short on the SPY at 593. So we were short over here, right? It made a lot more sense. As we get lower and drift lower and lower and lower and lower, being short becomes much more difficult. And as we get to points where being short becomes difficult, where we should be getting bounces, it's time to be bullish at those levels. So if we already have that in, that's what makes this next few days really a bit more difficult in terms of judging which way the direction of the market is going to go, because specifically we just entered into a very, very choppy time in the market. We didn't just get this big monstrous back and forth rally, right? Up down. We are now starting to drift a bit slower. So when the market starts to drift a bit slower, when the market has much more beaten down volume, when there's not as much oomph to the bull side, there's not as much oomph to the downside, it becomes much more stagnant and much more compressed in the day. During the day, it becomes much more compressed, right? Because it becomes much more compressed during the day, it's just like you feel the market is hanging at the edge of a cliff. It wants to just completely drop. And you could feel it, right? You could feel the market wants to just completely drop. But regardless of what ends up happening, regardless of how far we drop, I do believe all of these dips are buying opportunities for longer term. This is not going to be the top for the market, in my opinion. I'd be pretty shocked to see if the early stages of the presidency and everything just tends to be very, very bearish. I don't know if that's going to end up being the case. Seasonality-wise, February and March, we do get a pullback. But I think we have more room to go. I think we get some sort of a bounce. And this is just, we're trying to hold support. That's the issue. We're trying to hold support. and the momentum is not as it. The bulls have not left, right? So we have still bulls that went long, and all of these are just long opportunities. All right, I don't know what else to say. Hopefully, next week, hopefully Friday gives better things to talk about. But this is just what I feel, and it's not as simple. Up here, very simple to be short. Up here, down here, simple to be long. In this setup right now, it's okay not to know completely. All right, that's my thought process. I hope what I said made sense. And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful Thursday. See you guys tomorrow morning. Happy early Friday. All right, love you guys. Have a good one.